Hi there, I'm Winifred, intuitive healer, tarot reader, and magical maven of AwenTree, the magical hub for the seeker. And in today's lesson, I'm going to be talking about how to choose the right crystal or crystals or gemstones for you. So one of the questions I get asked frequently is how to pick out the right crystals or gemstones for yourself. This is a really great question, and so I wanted to cover some tips and pointers in this lesson today. There are many wonderful references out there to help you learn about the meanings and energetic properties of so many different crystals and gemstones, whether it's on the internet or in books. There are tons of resources, and I definitely encourage people to check those out. But here's my thoughts on references about meanings of crystals. I do think we want to respect the different meanings and interpretations out there regarding any particular crystal that you are checking out, or if you are looking for a certain category, like for instance, let's say you're struggling with anxiety, so you look up references for stones that have to do with anxiety, and you see certain references made either on the internet or in a book, and then you go on a quest to find those particular stones. There's nothing wrong with that approach to finding the crystal or gemstone to help you overcome something or to energetically engage the properties of that stone is part of your healing journey. But I do have some thoughts on when it comes time to actually looking for and finding the stones that you will work with. So my first thought is that I always feel that being guided or led to a stone and your intuition always trump the formal meaning of a stone. There's many different meanings and interpretations for stones, and so stay flexible with it. So you might read about a stone and discover it's either a very expensive stone to get or a rare stone, so hard to access, and I don't want people to get derailed by that. I want people to follow their intuition and instinct when it comes to selecting their stones. So you might find that you are drawn to work with a particular stone, and then you arrive at a shop, either like my shop or another wonderful shop, and get totally disappointed when you can't access the stone that you read about. Now, I want to say a couple things on that, because I see people get stonewalled in this journey, and I think the most important thing is to get working with stones that you can access and find that work for you. So I want to say that while we want to respect when we've read about something and we really resonate with that information, we definitely want to respect that. But at the same time, when we go out into the physical world and we can't find that particular stone we read about, I want to encourage people to work to find a stone that's in your physical accessibility that also can do the job for you. I think it's more important that we find stones that can work when we can't necessarily find the exact stone we read about. So now that could be something along the lines like finding a similar stone with similar properties and just subbing it out, or that could be staying in a color palette. So sometimes we come in looking for, let's say for instance you want a stone that's red because you're working on some root chakra issues. So you may not find the exact red stone you read about, again, because some stones that are really beautiful and wonderful can be quite rare or rather expensive, and it can be harder to access them. And so I then would encourage you to look at the red stones that are available to you and pick from one of those that speak to you the most. And this isn't to negate or neglect the importance when you do read about a stone that you resonate with. I do think we want to respect that and continue to reach out for those energies of that stone. But I really think the most important thing is to be practical and get working with stones if you're feeling called to do that. So I always want to encourage people that while we want to respect the knowledge and interpretations of a particular meaning of a crystal or gemstone, don't get derailed on your quest to work with stones if you're struggling to find that stone that you got your heart set on. It's more important to go to a space where you can physically sit with the stones and run your hands over them and take some time to connect with them and go with the stone that's really jumping out or speaking to you or that you're drawn to. I think that is a very important way to pick your stones. I think there's no accident when we show up in certain spaces and there are stones in front of us, and if a stone is just really jumping out or calling to you. I have some really wonderful stones in my life that I bought solely on an intuitive feeling that I felt compelled, and I didn't even know what the energetic meaning of the stone was. I was just compelled solely on almost like on a soul level I did something about that vibration of the stone spoke to me. And then I always find later when I go home and research the meaning of the stone, it makes total sense in my life. So I want to encourage you to be empowered on your journey of working with crystals and gemstones, and use your intuition, let spirit guide you, and pick from what's in front of you the stones that are resonating or speaking to you. And don't get too hung up on, well, this isn't the exact stone I read about on the internet or in a book. If you can find those stones, that's fabulous. But I think it's more important, if you're called to work with stones, that you just start getting some in your collection and have them in your energy field. So seek out the stones that you can access, that resonate with you and are speaking to you. You really want to respect that on your healing journey. Okay, so that said, a way to work with a stone you've read about or seen on the internet that you can't readily get your hands on. So some stones are really rare or expensive. You might read about sapphires or rubies or diamonds even, and not be in a position to get access to those stones quickly. So you can always print out the picture of that stone, and in meditation work with the energetic vibration of the stone. It's not the same as having the stone in your possession, that's for sure. However, there's no reason why you can't either get a great crystal oracle deck and use the imagery from a stone to work with it, or print a picture and you tap into the energy of the stone that way. So that's a workaround when we have struggled to find a rare or more expensive stone that's really calling to us. So that's a little tip for a workaround, so that you can still stay in that empowered place on your journey of healing and working with crystals. Okay, so to wrap it up, my last thoughts on how to pick out your crystals when you're ready to do that. Definitely, like I said, you want to spend some time sitting with them. If there's a lot of little crystals in a bowl, if it's possible to lay them out and kind of take some time and put your hands over them, that's really good. It's also good to, if you're eyeing a crystal, you might set it down, walk away, come back, and see which one really sort of calls to you. That's good if you're hemming and hawing between, in a little basket of stones, you're not sure if it's stone A or stone B. Putting them down, both stones, stepping a few steps away, turning your back, turning around and coming back again towards the stones, and just letting your inner guidance draw you to the stone that's right for you. That's a really good tip for getting a stone that you're resonating with. So those are my thoughts to help you get started on feeling empowered and picking out your stones for your healing journey. And if you want to learn more, you can always connect with me over at AwenTree.com or follow me on Facebook, where we have an AwenTree page and an AwenTree group. And again, thanks for being here, and I look forward to connecting with you more in the future.